Hello everybody, I'm GL1. Welcome to my online toy museum. And curating my museum is a lot of fun. And today I'm going to show you figures that are first time in the line. I'm going to go through all those, and then I'm going to go through just some, maybe some rare figures, some you have not seen before. So any of you that are into WWE women's division, that's what I'm going to show you today. And all of you that are into that, I'm sure, are very familiar with Charlotte. So as you can see, this is Charlotte, first time in the line basic figure. And, I think as time went on, the faces started to look more and more like the people. You can, see a picture of her and then the figure and then kind of judge what you think about, whether it looked like her. So let's see. So then that came out with this series here. You were able to get any of those at the same time. And I have little El Torito. I don't think I showed him with my Luchador wrestling episode. So if you look up in my wrestling playlist, you can find Luchadors. Luchasaurus is in there, and so is that guy. And that Luchasaurus from AEW, who actually is in the hospital right now. All right, another first in the line, and Alexa Bliss. This one's probably also worth a good amount of money. So as you can see, look at that that look on her face, and I know Mrs. GL1 thought that her facial expressions were just fantastic. So I remembered ordering this figure because at the time it wasn't in any stores. So all right, so then there you go, Alexa Bliss. So these are figures, that I'm just going to hang up on the wall. Now here is Sonya Deville, and they're both first time in the line, but they just gave her different, a clothing motif. So, one of my clients pointed out that's he was curious about, well, if they're both first time in the line, which one's actually first, right? Because they both have different clothes, but they came out at the same time. So that's Sonya Deville, who's looks different now. All right, and then I'm going to go with I'm going to go over here. So these are all the first figures I showed you are pretty familiar faces. And then I couldn't find the episode that has these, but a long time ago I did an episode on figures, female wrestlers that probably aren't going to, just seem to be not going to be very popular, but they came out with figures anyway. But that isn't exactly true. Now, all of them were released from WWE, and then actually Tony Storm is a pretty big deal in AEW right now, and Dakota Kai got brought back and became a pretty big deal. And I can't remember if that happened with Tegan Knox, but I think Tegan Knox also was rehired by WWE. So there you go. We got those figures again. But all right, so here are some newer ones. So this one, Tiffany Stratton, and I don't think the face looks like the photograph of her. Too good. So this is one of those instances where it's a newer figure, but I don't think they did a really good rendition of her. But she's become quite popular, and I know wants to get into the movies, actually. So there's Tiffany Stratton. And I was lucky. This is a little bent up, unfortunately, but this is just a really hard figure to get, and I'm not going to pay like an inflated Amazon price for it. So I was lucky just to found that in a sort of out of the way at Walmart. This is another figure. This just came out, and I was wondering when this was going to come out. So here she is, Maxine Dupree, and I think pretty good face, pretty good, looks like the person. And I think this will probably end up being kind of a valuable action figure and pretty, because I think it's going to be rare, kind of like the Tiffany Stratton figure. So here's another one. Now these are people that are not, I don't know if they're making big waves in the WWE, not yet. I think they're pretty early in their career there. So this is Cora Jade. And first time in the line, this is an elite figure which has better articulation, like double elbows and often double knees. And then you have the bicep joint. Now, there was a time actually when your basic figures, when it came to the females, the basic female figures had the same joints as the elite. And I think they realized that, and they said, wait a minute, why we're not doing anything special for them. So they changed that. I know that the male basic figures now have lateral hip articulation. They can move their hips out, whereas before they just went back and forth. So they upgraded that, and that was nice. All right, so Caden Carter, another first time in the line. And I think it's good. They got the facial expression on there, you know. And a little bit, you can see she's got some piercings here. And yeah, you can see there are some piercings on the figure. So that's the main event series. All right, and then that comes with these guys. I did see the Rowdy Piper one. All right, and so here we go. Another, this is like... clearance, Gigi Dolan, who, actually, I think she's she had the tag titles, one half of the tag titles for a little while. So it doesn't have the dark makeup around the eyes, but I think it's a good figure. It looks like her. Yeah. All right. And JC Jane. So it came out at the same JC Jane first time in the line. There it is. And here we go. Also a clearance. So JC Jane, good face sculpt. You know. And last of the first time in the line, Aaliyah. I don't really know who Aaliyah is, actually. I've not seen her wrestle. I don't watch every episode of WWE, but I try to keep up. But I just think, actually, what's interesting is how many action figures they make of wrestlers that aren't really doing a whole lot. And then there's a wrestler like Jane Cargill, who they're so excited about. And there's, she's been with them for months and months now, and there's no figure. I don't know. Go figure, right? So here's an older figure that maybe you haven't seen, Ruby Riott. She goes by a different name in AEW. So actually, if you just Google Ruby Riott, you can see she has got a different name and a different look in AEW. All right. So we used to joke, if you've seen any of my other videos, Mrs. GL1 and I both observed that she kind of looks like me, actually. All right, and let's see. Here we go. We got Tamina, right? Jimmy Snuka's daughter. All right, so there. Got this quite a ways back. And check out this this one, Emma. So I've had this for a long time. You can see it's suffering. The cardboard is suffering, staying up there. But I think Emma's also with AEW now. I think she goes by the Bunny, actually. Hang on. Yeah, check this out. So I got this figure at a half-off store, and one of 1,000 and the Bunny. And I'm pretty sure it's the same person, actually. Not because they look here like each other, but I think it is. I think that, actually, if you look at the photograph, I think it's, you can tell a little bit better. But, let's see. But anyway, all right. And then we have, check out this old one, AJ Lee. Any of you that were fans of AJ Lee, this is really old figure too. This is almost, this is like 10 years old. So, old AJ Lee figure. They used her body, the same body, for Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks. And then this is one of the figures, I remember getting this at Toys R Us. I didn't know really Natalia at all. I was just like, wow, that looks like a cool figure. She got a lot of clothing on. So I never opened it. I'm kind of, glad I didn't, because I think it's kind of a unique looking figure. Yeah, this is also almost 10 years old. So, been sitting there a while. And then this Chelsea Green, I think, is going to end up being somebody. I think she made a big deal did some good stuff at a recent pay-per-view. Um, so there's Chelsea Green, an elite figure. So we'll see if she becomes something big for them. And then here's another one, Maurice. And she wrestled a long time ago and then didn't wrestle, married The Miz. And then after she was married and not wrestling anymore, they came out with a figure of her, though, from like back in the day when she was wrestling. So that's Maurice. Yeah, this figure came out about 8 years ago, and this is commemorating her wrestling match in 2008. So that's when she was wrestling. All right, and then last, I got this figure because I think if it's not controversial now, I think it will be. I certainly have mixed feelings about Becky Lynch being called the Man, as if I understand, it became she was in a match and she got her nose broken and she kept fighting, and that was cool. But I don't think a woman needs to be compared to a man, especially when she's a wrestler, to be tough. I mean, those women are tough on their own. They're amazing what they do, and but that's what they did. And I figure, well, you know what, I'm going to keep that because I think it's interesting, an interesting cultural thing, and I think it's one of those things that later people will look at and go, what were we thinking? Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and I will talk to you later. Take care.